now over here. Okay. So, I didn't say, but you've been here before, so we'll just talk until it feels complete.
Okay.
Because we may talk for a while,
That's right.
but no, until it feels complete. So but I'll have you out by, uh, the
No
hour.
worries. No worries.
Okay, the straight
No
hour.
worries.
All right. So welcome today. I'm really ah pleased, excited, and curious about the conversation that's about to happen. It's with a friend of mine who's been here before, Jennifer Ruth Russell. Jennifer, thanks for coming.
Oh, my joy. I'm so grateful to be here.
So, you guys, let me just tell you a little bit about Jennifer. So, Jennifer is the founder and director of Angels of Ascension Academy, and she has profound teachings that has channeled, but also she's put them collectively into a book, several books, and we're going to talk about one today. But I also want you to know she has a podcast called Morning Light Meditations, and you can subscribe, right, Jennifer, to the podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
And
There are
I have
many.
done those, and
Yes.
they're powerful and they're beautiful. But Jennifer is also a spiritual mentor, and she's a singer-songwriter. And her songs, I'm crying already. This is at the beginning. Usually I wait till the end. Uh, Jennifer's songs are thought-provoking, but also heart-opening and
Mm.
connecting. They help me, Jennifer, they help me. I still listen to your songs all the time. They help me to connect when I feel like I can't find that connection.
Mhm.
So, Jennifer Ruth Russell.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my friend. I was just thinking how long we've known each other. And
Oh,
I think it has been at least 15 years that we've known each other.
I would say yes to
Yes.
that.
And
Yes.
I love that. I love that we've known each other that long, and you're always so open and receptive to about my book. So I say, "Hey, Susan, I have another one," and you're like, "Okay, come on, let's go." Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna okay, here's the name of this book. And you guys, this is a gem of a book. I've been perusing it. It's called Create Abundance with Mother Mary, a guide to unlock your connection with the divine feminine, reclaim your creative power, and transform your relationship with money. Now, this book, Jennifer, you've taken two of the previous books and put them into one. Yes.
Hmm.
So as I was opening this up, I'm like, because I've read the other books, and I open this up and I'm like, oh, this is vaguely familiar. But as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, it's working me, it's working me, it's working me. So thank you for that.
Hmm.
Um, let's talk about why Mother Mary.
Okay, let's talk about that. Wow, it's not a short story, but I'm going to make it as concise as I can. I was raised as I was a missionary kid of evangelical missionaries, um, Christians. My grandparents were, and so was my mom and my dad. And I went through a great rebellion. I have to tell you, I call it my freedom journey now. And and as I did that, I could not even walk into a church or a place of worship for 20 years. And then after my second marriage, um, you know, died, I was like, oh, there's something I've got to look at. And I decided to just start making a pathway. And I ended up at a Science of Mind church, a Center for Spiritual Living church center, which I just embraced. I embraced the I am, the beautiful presence of my being of one mind with the mind of God, that there's no separation. I just ate all the metaphysical stuff up. And I ended up at Agape International Spiritual Center where I became a practitioner. at Agape. And then I was like, but I want more of a personal relationship because I was raised that way. You know, I took
Right.
Jesus is my personal savior. And when I became, there was something about the all, the one, the universe that was just a little bit too impersonal for me. So I started diving into the I am presence discourses. And as I started doing that at the same time, there was a longing in my heart for Mama God. I had never even, people would celebrate the goddess, and I always thought that goddess circles were a little bit like, well, it wasn't that they were really woo woo. It was like there was nothing grounding to me. It felt really like airy, a little bit too
Uh,
airy, right?
Too airy, and it needs to be. I feel the same way, Jennifer, when I'm
Yeah.
invited to those two goddess circles. Not that there's I don't feel that there's a connection that is anchored within my body and my
Hmm.
soul.
Well, I think maybe we feel that because there needs to be both. And always
Right.
that's our wholeness. And I know that everyone that has a goddess circle knows that too. I'm just affirming that because when I was realizing that I didn't know Mama God at all, because if I'm made in the image and likeness of the beloved divine, here I am, a woman. So I thought, well, what about Mother Mary? Mother Mary is at least, I've heard about her from the Catholic, the Catholic belief had really kept her alive. And at the same time, I was studying the Seven Sacred Flames with from Maria Louise Jones. In fact, that's when I
Yeah.
got a directive to start an academy to start teaching these teachings of the
Oh,
ascended masters. And the fifth ray, and I have it like blazing behind me, is the emerald green ray, and I always see it with turquoise flecks in it. That one of the attributes of that, it's a healing ray, it's a manifestation ray, and abundance flows to the Immaculate Heart of Mother Mary. I was like, what does that mean? And I have to tell you, living in a question is one of the most beautiful ways to live because I kept asking that question. Here comes Mother Mary. Okay. So I realized in 2016, 13, I was invited to the Ukraine to be a musical um, inspiration for a conference there. And there are so many images of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And I was standing in front of one, and actually, Mother Mary called my name. And that was the most profound moment of my life so far.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was just so intimate. And I realized that I had been calling to her for a while then. Okay. Because that had probably had been at least 5 years that I had been asking this
Mm,
question.
mm-hmm.
And yet I could see from that point backwards too that she had been calling me. Now I have to tell you from where I am today, I call myself now an oracle and a scribe for Mother Mary. This relationship is ancient. I feel that we are part of the same soul family that I came in here with her. As she says that she's from the lineage of Isis. So am
Yes.
I, so
Holy
I believe,
moly.
yeah,
Holy
yeah,
moly.
yeah,
Yes.
yes. So that's the story of Mother Mary. She is the mother of us all, as is Kuan Yin. I mean, there's a lot of mothers of us all, but Mother Mary, I love this story about Mother Mary when she indeed was the mother that brought forth Yeshua. She indeed did that. She had to go through an initiation to be chosen to do that. And it was a 3 hour initiation. When
Whoa.
she was there, and her job was just to hold the Immaculate Concept, the perfection, which we're taught to do when we pray, right? We're supposed to hold that place of perfect, whole, and complete. She
Right.
was, that was her job to hold the mission that this amazing teacher came to give. When he was on the cross, she held vigil for 3 hours. And that was her next initiation to her next expansion. She was then to be the mother of us all and to hold the Immaculate Concept for every human on the planet. So that just shows you we all always initiating into the next expansion that we are to do. And I love that story because she truly has been our mother forever, you know, forever. So,
I am so grateful you shared that story because, oh my goodness, 500 things. Because in this lifetime, Susan, me, I was never raised in a church. My parents, my dad was Episcopal or Episcopalian. My mom was raised Southern Baptist. And so when they had kids, they went, we'll let them choose. And so we never went to church as a family. I would go to Catholic church if I spent the night at a friend's house. There was a family I would spend the, night with, and we always had to go to church on Sunday. And I remember sitting in, not that there's anything wrong with Catholicism, you guys, but for me, I remember sitting there listening to the priest um, intone, all this stuff about Jesus and Mother Mary and all these rules that as a small child, I was like, I don't believe this. That I don't believe any. How did I not? I don't know. So fast forward to uh I don't have a relationship I choose not to have a relationship with the scriptures, the Bible, that so many people think is the absolute, of course, gospel. And I'm like, uh, because there's something so much more to me beyond that. And so like when I read the Course in Miracles, which was channeled by Jesus, I
mhm,
had to, in my book, the first time I read the text, I had to cross out words that were evangelical feeling to me,
mhm,
and I had to change the word God to something I could relate to, because it was so, for me, constricting. And so, um, hearing you're channeling Mother Mary, I'm like, oh gosh, all right. Is there another name for Mother Mary? And so when you telling this story, I'm like, I knew it was so much bigger than just
oh
that
yeah,
one incarnation or
oh
what
yeah,
we've learned about, right?
right, right. It's hard for us to even comprehend
Yeah,
beyond the veil, right?
yeah,
Beyond the veil, because we're so much into this biosuit and the linear way of being in life, but it's so much more complex than that. And yet it's so very simple. It's all about love. Yeah. But everybody has something that's theirs to do,
right,
and everyone has a divine complement. There are, that we all have a twin flame. Usually they're not on this planet with us, but part of the essence of them are in our soulmates and our helpmates that we end up here with. But Mother Mary's twin flame is Archangel Raphael, and he is the Archangel of healing and
yes.
consecration. So, just I don't know why I told you that, but that's to me
No,
very
well,
interesting.
he's the Archangel of healing, consecration, and he's also because of the healing, he's also the archangel of abundance, right?
That's right. This is that
So,
that whole ray. So they're on that ray of abundance, manifestation. It's also the ray of illumined truth. And when you think about it, illumined truth, if you know the truth of something, it's usually healed.
right,
Right?
exactly.
Right. So yeah, yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm writing down Illumin Truth. So, um, oh, this is not how I thought our conversation would go, but I'm so thrilled about that. Okay, so let's get back to the book that you co-authored with her as
Yeah.
being Oracle and Scribe of Mother Mary.
Mhm.
Um, what's some other names for her? You said earlier, but
She's a cosmic mother. You could say she's a cosmic mother.
okay,
I call her Mother Mary because she asked me to call her that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
that's
that
important.
simple.
Well, and it helps for the other people that don't know what you do or we do. but they
Hmm.
need connection with something that they can understand. And Mother Mary, for so many, is that connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
And she's very connected to the earth, to
really,
us. Uh-huh. Absolutely. She, unlike, I consider her to be an ascended master as because she comes from the lineage of Isis, who was on this planet. And she also is called the Queen of the Angels. And she's listed as the archei on this ray. There is, Cryon says there's a crystal cave of creation. And there is actually a crystal there that is from our eternal essence. And in other words, our grand, which I call the I am presence, the
hmm
presence of us that is the God self that we are.
hmm
And when we leave the planet, it doesn't leave with us, but it holds our essence and our experience and our wisdom that we brought here on the planet. I've just heard that this week and I was like, oh my God, now that means that everyone that was here that walked the earth, so we could say Yeshua, we could say Babaji, we could say Buddha, we could say, Kuan Yin, we could say, all these amazing beings that came here to ascend have left their essence here and all the records that they are. So when I think of Mother Mary, I've got as a practitioner of truth, when I think of Mother Mary, she's like the ultimate practitioner for me. And for anybody that chooses to work with her or anybody else, because I get to use her consciousness. I get to use her expansive understanding of the laws of the universe.
Wow.
And she's everywhere present. So, which anyone that is on the other side is everywhere present, as we know.
Yes, yes. Well, and
Yeah.
it's interesting as you were saying that about the crystal and it's on Earth, probably in the center of the Earth or under the.
Right, and it's multidimensional. So I mean, we probably don't even understand what that really means either,
No, no,
right?
it's that's such a small word,
Yes,
multidimensional, right?
yes,
For what
it
the
is.
experience is. But as you were saying that, I kept hearing as above, so below. So everybody talk, there's the whole buzz that's been around for a while about the Akashic records,
Yeah.
and there's people getting trained to read the Akashic records and, you know, and nah, I'm cynical. Am I cynical, Jennifer? I think I'm a little cynical.
Well, you
Anyway,
have you have a question in mind, which is beautiful.
well, and and I've been to the Akashic records. I didn't need to be trained for that, so I'm like, but there's such a power in having that certification for humans that are at a certain stage, I guess. But so, the Akashic records always feel like they're somewhere in the ethers, somewhere
Oh,
that great library in the sky kind of thing. So as you were saying about the crystal holding all that essence, I could feel like this whole channel,
drawdown. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Or up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The another a word for this is your causal body, which means every spiritual accomplishment that you have ever had in any lifetime is held in the Akashic records or in your causal body. And the cool thing about that, and I love thinking about the crystal being like, because crystals are conductors, they're in radio signals,
Yes.
right? Everything that crystal is holding our knowing here when it doesn't hold it when we're gone, but it just lights up again when we come back every time we come back. But I love that idea that we can draw from this beautiful wisdom that we know. We've created worlds, we've created planets, we've done a lot. We've like ascended already. We've already, we know how to heal with a song. We know how to do so much. And that just I think that's what we're doing here. Because when we come in here and we absolutely forget half of who we are, and we come back to remembrance and we have that desire to come into oneness with wherever we came from or the creator that created us, we we then start tuning in to this ancient wisdom that is
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has always been there. So it's almost like uh, it's almost like I notice some people think that as they uncover, okay, maybe me, it's me, Jennifer, gosh. When I was beginning this path, or continuing my path when I was in my teens, And I was reading anything metaphysical and talking to people of different walks. A good friend of mine was a Baha'i. I just was soaking that up. And I always would think, oh, I found the answer. Almost like I've created this wisdom. I'm so wise now. Of course, that's youth, but right. And
Right.
yet that wisdom has always been there for eons, not just a couple thousand years, but eons beyond eons doesn't even explain it, right? And those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, right? Those of us can access it when we come back so that we can move further as a soul evolution.
Right. That's why we come here to Earth. That's why we come here because we have to go into a land of ignorance, you know. We have to go to a place that we can't remember all that we know.
Right.
And there's something that's unfinished that we need to take care of. You know, I mean, there is no way I could learn about forgiveness on the other side of the veil.
Oh, I know. Oh
This
boy.
university of relationships, right?
Right. And and the fascinating times that we're living through
Hmm.
right now
Yeah.
again, in some ways. And and learning that it is for our highest good. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Right? Because that's how we do grow, evolve, and ascend.
Yes, and I also think that some of us are here now because we've been at this place with either this planet or another planet before, when everything is in such chaos that the high priestesses and the high priests are here now. You
Hmm.
know, that all of us light workers, we've done this before. We've come here because we know how to do this. Of course, we're remembering, but we're remembering pretty quickly, you know. And I don't know about you, but I know right now for my community and people that I talk with all the time that things are moving very quickly. And, you know, it's like when we were kind of getting things that, you know, one little step at a time, now it's just like, oh, let's go.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Just even 2 years ago, I remember, oh, this is plotting. We're plotting. When are we all going to get it? How are we going? And all of a sudden now it's like, oh,
Yes.
and which is fabulous. And we just have to breathe through and
Yes.
it's not a, well, time is, there's a new timeline that's been opened, it feels like to me, Jennifer. And so it's not that time is rushing. That's a
Mhm.
human idea that it's moving so fast. But now we're on this other timeline because so many people have woken up, or that's not a good word, but have remembered.
Because because the light quota has reached a certain height.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes, and Mother Mary said this just a couple months ago. We have a Q&A with Mother Mary once a month in my community, and she said, "You have all stepped into a new world," which would be like a timeline, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And you're going to feel awkward here. You're going to feel like a new baby. You're going to feel like you don't quite know how to be here and allow yourself to just be here like a baby, like a youngin, you know, just allow yourself to get acclimated to this new place without the pressure of having to be a certain way. And I love that. I love that she told us that because I can feel it in myself. And I can see too that maybe if something would take me out for 3 days and then it went to like maybe a half a day. And now it's like maybe minutes that I can transmute something that I have to, you know, because right now we're also all cleansing all of the which I say the memory banks that
Uh-huh.
anything we're responsible for, now's the time. We got to take care of it. Anything that we have done that has absolutely affected another, we have to take care of it. And anything we've done to the planet or in any way, a lot of these things are subconscious too, you know.
Right.
But it's and that's what we were given the violet flame for. It's the forgiveness flame. It's the flame that I use every day to just cleanse my world and and my snarkiness or whatever, whatever needs to.
Yeah, you had in the book, I forget which one it's, oh, I know where it is. Hold on. You talk about using the violet flame to clear your money
Yeah.
and purify your money.
Yeah.
And you have a decree that you wrote down. And first of all, purifying my money, that was like, when I'm reading this little chapter, I'm like, oh, well, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Instead
Hmm.
of worrying over my bank account and squandering or being fretful, all the things that put up blocks and are comes from feeling a lack, but to
Hmm.
purify what you already have. That's what I heard. Purify what you already have in
Yes.
all the accounts. So I did that this morning. And then but then I also have money that is being held in a I wanted to say purgatory. It's not a purgatory, but it's held in an in-between space right now.
Right. Hmm.
And it's being held there, I recognize this morning because of this meditation and this decree that you were inviting me to do, that money has to be purified before it can even come into my experience
And
because
all the
it's
and all the connections to it, which I love that this is the way the violet flame works. Like everybody that's attached to that money, maybe a company or a person, they are getting cleansed too.
oh
And
wow.
the relationships between you and them. I mean, that's what I love about the violet flame. It is so thorough. It's called the freedom flame.
Yeah.
So it takes care of all what is that word when you see all directions? Holographic. It takes
Yeah.
any direction, it takes care of it.
I'm so
And
glad you said that because when I do this meditation now, and this cleansing, I can see it that way because I was
hmm
seeing it more myopic, me, mine,
hmm
come.
yeah.
So,
And just think about money in this world. Just think about it. I mean, we don't need to get into this too much, but it has been it has been loaded and burdened with our feelings of betrayal, our greediness, our manipulation. I mean, whenever we can purify money, that's why I always, this was one of the first parts of the learning, that teaching that came to me, is like, make sure you're in a place of purity as much as you can. When you spend money, you're in a place of abundance, or blessing that money with some quality that you want it to pass on. Because when you think
mhm,
about it, I mean, just take a $20 bill that you hand for groceries to the grocer, and where does it go? It's
mhm,
going to pay for the groceries. It's going to go maybe to an allowance for his daughter, who might, then donate to charity water or something. I mean, you can in your imagination just imagine where that blessing, because it's an elemental being, it's a part of the elemental kingdom, it takes on whatever we give it. So why not use our power?
okay, that you when I read that in the book too, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense because I understand that money is energy. But to say that it's part of the elements, which is air, fire, wind, earth, um, that it's part of that, just like opened up a portal in my mind going, oh, I see how this,
Mhm.
and it helped with the meditation for myself in terms of purifying, because it doesn't have to hold, well, it takes on whatever we give it, right? But it's
That's
not,
right.
because it's elemental, it has its own properties right?
That's right. Well, it's taken on whatever's been given to it, because realize the elemental kingdom is here as really obedient to us, because we are Christed beings. We are absolutely divine authority.
Uh-huh.
And we were created to be in the middle of this great radiation of the God qualities from the angelic realm, and the elementals are the builders of form. Okay, everything that we see is built by that beautiful, everywhere present part of God, or spirit, whatever you want to call it. That part has been so defied by humanity, right?
Yep.
That's part of what we're cleaning up right now, right?
Right.
And I mean, even I don't want to even get this into a political discussion about it, but we could just take it on a really personal level. That everything in our life needs to be cleaned up because we are here. I mean, how often do you go and bless the trees, bless the water, bless the air, give them your love, give them this beautiful divine authority that you have in your heart of all the power, the wisdom, and the love of God, right? We all have this beautiful flame in our hearts. And as we give it to these elementals, they are freed to do what they came here to do, which was really to manifest the ideas of the beloved that we bring in. So
Right.
it's such a beautiful system, but we're coming back into our right place in it.
I love that description, Jennifer, because excuse me, I think that
Bless you.
humans over the course of, history, um, thought that they were in charge of it from a mental point of view, not from
Mm-hmm.
a divine authority point of view. But, or maybe it started as I'm the divine authority and oh, look what I can do when I use it. Maybe it started that way, but I think
That's
that's
what
where we got warped.
that's where Atlanta got messed up.
Oh, mhm.
Atlantean, because we were pure, and then we were like, oh, maybe I can use these laws to create something like over here for my own little self, and and that's where greed and power came in. I mean, that's such a simplified way of saying it, but
But and that's what concerns me now because we've been there. We
yeah.
had it all, and there were a few people that got greedy and manipulative and began to gather hoard for themselves, not for
Mm-hmm.
the highest good, not for the community, not for the world, not for, but
Mm-hmm.
for their individual warped sense of self. And it imploded or exploded.
Yes.
It depends on which version you're actually attuned to. But and with AI coming online really fast, it's part of that technology. I get that. And people are already using it to manipulate the masses.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we don't have to implode again to get the lesson, but hopefully we're getting the lesson on new levels.
Yes. Well, I have a belief about that.
Okay.
That this we because there's so many people here that are waking up right now.
Hmm.
We are absolutely the part of this beautiful community of light that is establishing so much light that we can't go back there. And that's why we're here, because we remember what happened. We remember what happened. And we are seeing the results I mean, all the curtains been drawn back now. We get to
Yeah.
see it all now. And we've been here before, we're remembering that what had happened before, and we will not let it happen again. And I do believe that there is a divine plan that's happening. I do. I hang on to that. I speak into that. I set into action my beloved I am presence and the I am presence of all humanity every day with a decree that I call and command the cosmic presence of cosmic victory be established as our government. And I really feel that it's making a difference. And of course, it's making a difference in me and the way I listen to things and the way I choose to be in the world. Because right now, there's so much distraction about what's going on
Yep.
that it's easy to get off kilter. But we got to stay in the light, we got to stay in the focused place. Somebody has to imagine the future. Because we know thoughts create things, right? There's somebody that has to be here to do this, and that's what we're doing.
Jennifer, that's like the most hopeful thing I've heard about what's going on with the condition we're currently living through. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I think if we just keep tuned into what is ours to do,
Hmm.
and keep tuned into what is that inspired action that I can take instead of getting distracted with what we hear, because what we hear is a very small portion of what's really going on. And I'm married to someone that wants to be up on everything that is happening. So I have to just take my times when I need to just walk out of the room and to close my ears, because I do not want to hear about the details of corruption right now. I don't
Right.
really need I know that it's there. I see it. My job is to absolutely know where we're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's that I appreciate you saying that because um I know that there are practitioners who get off kilter because they go down, they start getting hooked by whatever trauma drama just happened, and then they
Mhm.
go down that rabbit hole and they can't get themselves out,
Yeah.
and you know, it corrupts their ability to know truth, to pray truth, to see light, to be light. It corrupts it because they can't totally climb out of that hole.
But that is part of their journey, right? That is part of
Yeah.
their journey. It has happened to some of the angels. They've fallen and they have to work their way back. It's such a valuable journey, though. Think about it. Think about somebody that does that. They have to because I mean, we're always at choice, but there's a place that they're going to have to stop and turn around. They're going to. I mean, I just have to believe that because I think that we all have, I mean, I know within myself, that there are little things that can take me down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And my choice and taking full responsibility is the hardest thing. It's like, oh yeah, I chose to read that trashy novel just for an escape, and now it's like filling my mind. It's like, do I really want to be here in all this drama that's not even on this world? I mean, I have to ask myself often, like, what are you choosing to look at? What are you choosing to look at? And I think it's a really valuable lesson that some of I've had my journey. I've had my journey with my freedom journey was all about that. I really needed to see the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could get there, right?
Yeah. So I
And
could turn around.
oh my gosh.
But it doesn't even feel like a turnaround. It feels like that segment of my journey was so important for me to move on from where I was. And I really believe that those things are really important.
Yeah.
I've had some dear friends too have gone way down the conspiracy rabbit hole, and I can't have a conversation with them anymore. That's been a real loss that I've felt. And then to just let them, that's where they needed to go for some reason I can't understand.
Right. And I think that what trips us up is we want to understand.
Yeah,
And
because
part,
we
I
love
think,
them.
well, and we love them, but
Yes.
also there's the wanting to understand so I can change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some people are, well, I just want to understand why they think that way, but there's in the background the but, or so, then I can explain to them how they can get out of that rabbit hole, except that's where they wanted to go. So it's not for us to say,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a recovering codependent, so I'm really good at that.
I haven't signed up for the recovery part yet. I'm still kind of I have to
Oh,
watch myself when I
I do
dive
too.
in and I'm overdoing, overgiving. It just happened to me
Mm.
recently, and I like turned around and went, "What did I just do?"
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
fortunately, I catch myself a little faster.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah. So, Jennifer, you have a new offering you told me about, besides the morning light meditations, called Tea with Mother Mary. You want to share what that's about?
Yes. Oh, well, let me tell you what this about. I love what the write is up about it. So I'll just read it from there because it's to me what is happening is once a month we're getting together, have tea with Mother Mary, and it's free. It's a heart-centered online gathering. And this is just a place where you can simply be held in love without pressure or expectation. Mother Mary is definitely there, and we'll get a message from her and Q&A and just have a time to be together and talk about anything that's on your mind. Um, it's powerful. I have to tell you, where we meet in Mother Mary's sanctuary, which is called the Temple of the Divine Feminine Heart. This Here's another part of what we do with our spiritual work, right? It's a sanctuary. It is someplace that has had a momentum of light going on now for 13 years.
Wow.
So when you come into that tea, you're going to just feel all of that love from the angels and from Mother Mary's presence and the high intention. And when we were on retreat in May, and our beautiful friend Lita was there, Saint Germain says, we want to upgrade you to the sixth dimension. And this is now a city of light. It is a portal of the archangels. So that's what you get to experience when you come to the tea with Mother Mary. It's the first Wednesday of every month. And all you have to do is just sign up and you'll be invited. No
That's
commitment necessary.
fabulous. That's so fabulous. So, y'all, I just want to remind you, Jennifer said it's online. So there is a going to, but it isn't a physical going to. It is a spiritual, for lack of a better description, going to. Just so that some of you who might be
Yes.
listening go, okay, so so
Yes.
how
And
do I get to that divine place?
we always say too, come. Cameras are optional. If you just feel like hanging out and not showing your face, you're welcome to do that. You know, because some people are more introverted, and I totally get that. Susan and I are not. But I have learned to appreciate that part of myself, that part that needs to really
Yeah,
be in the background once in a while and be quiet.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Jennifer Ruth Russell. Oh my God, what a gift. Here come
Mm,
the tears again. What a gift you are. But I've always felt that about you, and I've told you many times. And I just am so grateful that you are continuing to see beyond what everyday human beings can see, and that you're holding the light and you're working the whole ascension process, and you're working with all of these masters and angels. And thank you for the reminder of where my lineage is,
mm-hmm.
because I've always known. But again, to hear it the way you said it earlier, thank you so much for that reminder, because it makes, it gives me more, uh,
Remembrance of your high priestessness.
well, and I lead from that, but I do have to remind myself sometimes, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So thank you for
yeah,
that.
yes,
So again, you
absolutely.
guys, the book is called Create Abundance with Mother Mary, a guide to unlock your connection with the divine feminine, reclaim your creative power, and transform your relationship. And you guys, there are daily things, you can read one chapter a day and do whatever work Jennifer and Mother Mary have prescribed, and some of the other ascended masters. And it is transformative. It
Mhm.
transmutes your energy. And right now, that I really believe is why, like you said, Jennifer, is why we're here, to transmute ourselves so that that light presence becomes even more radiant. So,
Yes. And to remember
yeah,
that you're powerful and you're very precious. Very precious.
thank you so much, my
Yeah.
friend. So
Thank you.
I'm just gonna end with, and so it is, namaste.
Namaste.